Dad, back in November of 2019, we were both supposed to go out to Israel, but that was not possible. I went out to get as much information on the historical and biblical sides of as many places as I could visit for your consideration. But this would only be a start. We have already shared the gospel. There would likely be many more questions. That is why I created a website that contains some of the best content on the Christian faith that I have found for you to consider. More on that later. I hope you like it. Let's go. I started my trip taking a train up to Grand Central Station, then a bus over to LAX. The flight took me over Canada, Greenland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, right into Moscow. The flight time was around 12 hours and 40 minutes. I took Aeroflot. The food was good. I did enjoy seeing the glaciers and also the mountains of Norway. The hotel I was staying at was attached to the airport, and I was trying to get into my room as quickly as I could so that I could get down to Red Square and hopefully take a selfie before it got too late. And here I am on an exciting part of my adventure on the train trying to blend in. But I had a difficult time setting up my GPS on my phone. And when I arrived in Belaruski, I had a difficult time getting directions. It was getting late, it was getting cold, and it started to rain, and I was tired. Although disappointed and only a mile and a half away from Red Square, I opted to turn around and head back and have dinner in a restaurant overlooking the airport. I had an early flight the next morning from Moscow to Tel Aviv. It was raining and there were a lot of clouds in the sky, but it made for a beautiful sunrise. I was hoping to see more of the terrain of Russia, and it did start opening up as I got further into my trip. We're coming up on the Black Sea, the mountains of Turkey, and then out over the Mediterranean. I was able to see land in the distance starting to come into view. I've always wanted to visit Israel, so it started to get exciting. The flight was about 4 hours and 15 minutes, and I landed in Tel Aviv where I rented a car and drove to Hadera Beach about an hour away where I'll be spending the first night. This is the Ramada Resort at Hadera Beach. It has great ocean views. I checked into my room and then I wanted to get down to the beach to dip my feet into the Mediterranean for the first time. And here's the beach. And there's the cat. It is beautiful out here. A look at the room and some great ocean views. That is Tel Aviv, way off in the distance. All right, the sun is over to you folks in California. The next morning, I started my day with my first stop at Caesarea, about 15 miles up the road. Here is a short clip providing some history on this ancient port. Caesarea National Park, located along the Mediterranean coast, was once a thriving ancient city. It began over 2,000 years ago when King Herod the Great, a renowned builder, established the city, naming it after the Roman Emperor Caesar Augustus. The historical significance of Caesarea's harbor is immense, as it played a crucial role in the ancient world as a major maritime hub and a symbol of power and prosperity. It was an engineering marvel of its time. Caesarea's strategic location was an ideal site for a harbor. The construction of the harbor transformed what was once a simple fishing village into a thriving Roman metropolis. The harbor served as a vital link between the Roman Empire and its eastern provinces, facilitating trade, commerce, and cultural exchange. The harbor's significance extended beyond its practical functions. It symbolized the grandeur and influence of the Roman Empire, as well as the ambition and vision of King Herod. The construction of such a massive and technologically advanced harbor demonstrated Herod's desire to rival the greatest cities of the time and solidify Caesarea's status as a prominent center of trade and culture. The harbor's architectural design incorporated sophisticated engineering techniques, such as a concrete construction and breakwaters which protected ships from rough sea conditions. This engineering feat allowed larger vessels to navigate the harbor, making Caesarea an essential port for international trade. Moreover, Caesarea's harbor had strategic significance for military and political purposes. Its well-defended position and access to the sea made a vital naval base for Roman forces, allowing them to exert control over the region and project power throughout the eastern Mediterranean. Due to its importance, the harbor attracted merchants, sailors, and travelers from various regions, fostering cultural exchange and economic growth. It became a melting pot of diverse cultures and religions, contributing to the cosmopolitan atmosphere of the city. Walking through the ancient ruins, one can't help but feel the layers of history that have unfolded here. From the Roman period to the Byzantine era, and later under Islamic rule, Caesarea's significance endured and evolved. One of the most impressive structures in Caesarea is its Roman theater, capable of hosting up to 4,000 spectators. Just a stone's throw away from the theater lies the ancient Hippodrome. This magnificent venue once showcased thrilling chariot races and other spectacles, drawing huge crowds. The awe-inspiring aqueduct system that stretched for miles carried water to Caesarea from the foothills of Mount Carmel. This engineering marvel supplied the city's needs, ensuring a constant flow of fresh water, a vital resource for the thriving metropolis. And here we have the stadium, which was renovated, but in ancient times was used by the Roman soldiers. And here is a short clip on the biblical significance of this site. The harbor witnessed significant biblical events throughout its existence. It served as the backdrop for the trial of the Apostle Paul before the Roman governors, including Felix and Festus. This significant event is recorded in the book of Acts in the Bible, specifically Acts chapter 24. After Paul's missionary journeys across the Mediterranean, preaching the teachings of Jesus Christ and establishing Christian communities, he faced opposition and accusations from certain Jewish leaders, accusing him of stirring up trouble among the Jewish people and defiling the temple. A group of Jewish elders came to Caesarea to make their accusations against Paul before the governor. The text then states that Paul was brought before Felix and his accusers presented their case against him. Paul began his defense by acknowledging Felix's position and presenting his case with eloquence and conviction. He emphasized that his actions and teachings were in line with the law of Moses and the teachings of the prophets. Paul declared his belief in the resurrection of both the righteous and the unrighteous, highlighting the central message of the Christian faith. But throughout his defense, Paul remained steadfast in his commitment to Jesus Christ and his mission to share the gospel to both Jews and Gentiles. He maintained his innocence, saying that he had committed no crimes against the Jewish law or the Roman Empire. Paul's defense resonated not only with Felix, but also the listeners that were present. His words challenged their perspectives and stirred deep thoughts about faith, spirituality, and the claims of Christianity. However, despite Paul's compelling defense, Felix did not make an immediate decision. Instead, he postponed the verdict, keeping Paul in custody for 2 years. Paul may have written Colossians and the Epistle to the Ephesians, possibly here from Caesarea. In the opening of this letter, Paul identifies himself as the author and mentions that he is writing from prison. Pontius Pilate, best known for his role in the trial and crucifixion of Jesus Christ, held the position of Roman governor or prefect of Judea from approximately 26 to 36 CE. While Pilate's primary residence and administrative headquarters were in Jerusalem, he had a significant connection to Caesarea during his tenure. Historical records were found that mention Pilate. Also, archaeological evidence has uncovered inscriptions of Pilate's name, including one dedicated to Tiberias Caesar, and bearing Pilate's name as the Roman prefect of Judea, found here in Caesarea. In the book of Acts, we encountered the story of Cornelius, a Roman centurion stationed in this very city. It was here that Cornelius received a vision from God, instructing him to seek out the Apostle Peter in Joppa. Shortly after the vision, messengers sent by Cornelius arrived at Peter's house and requested him to go to Cornelius. Peter went to Caesarea and preached the gospel to Cornelius and his household. During his preaching, the Holy Spirit came upon Cornelius and the others present, and they were baptized. Peter also healed Cornelius' servant, who was paralyzed and suffering. This is the area believed to be where the palace was located. This is the Hippodrome, which appears to have been used for chariot races and other events. Now back to my tour bus and on my way to Haifa. Haifa is about an hour north. There I will get a bite to eat, then head north to Rosh Hanikra grottoes, which is located on the border with Lebanon. Haifa is Israel's third largest city after Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. It is also the country's largest port. Hi, you guys. I'm starving. I haven't had a chance to get a bite to eat yet. I think there's food in here. I don't know, but there's a lot of parking space. Then I saw a symbol that looked familiar. Well, hey, you guys, just had the McDonald's hamburger. Not the best hamburger that I've ever had, but definitely the best McDonald's hamburger I've ever had. Yeah, it was expensive, about $20. Rosh Hanikra grottoes is a geological formation on the border between Israel and Lebanon, located on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea in western Galilee. It has a white chalk cliff face, which opens up into spectacular grottoes. What is a grotto, you might ask? Although it might sound like a type of Italian dish, it is actually sea caves. The grottoes are cavernous tunnels originally formed by earthquakes that opened cracks in the limestone. Together with rain and sea action, they formed over time. The total length of the caves are some 200 meters, approximately 600 feet, and branch off in various directions with some interconnecting segments. They used to be accessible only by professional divers, but they now have a cable car with a decline and rise at an angle of about 60 degrees, which they advertise as one of the steepest in the world. Let's take a ride. Slippery path. Ooh, check this out. How about that, you guys? This is really awesome. So clean. is the Israeli Defense Force out on training exercises and guarding the border. The rail line was built by the British during the 1920s and operated by Palestine Railways. Following the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, the tunnel linking the line to Lebanon was sealed up. Having a great time. Dad and I took a lot of pictures for you. I figured since you couldn't be here, I'm trying to bring here, there. So I'll do the best I can. Love you. And now I'm off to Tiberias, where I'll be spending the next 2 nights in a city overlooking the Sea of Galilee. And it's just like driving in California here. It's absolutely beautiful. Israel is growing. I've seen lots of construction. You're looking at the Sea of Galilee as I'm just coming over the hill, and the sun is just going down, and my hotel is about 8 miles ahead. I think that's amazing. Check out Thisaway or thataway.com for more information about this project and more. Many of us have family or friends that we are concerned about. That is why this project was started. Here you will find recommendations on each part in the series and video content on topics that surround the Christian faith. The gallery categorizes some of the best video content from some of the best content creators on a range of topics for either you, your relatives, or your friends to consider. It might be a good starting point to connect with the many resources available to provide more insight on the Christian faith. So please share. Check back to check out some of the new community features as well as other areas that may be of interest on the site as they continue to roll out. This site is new and we hope to gain traction at this important time. And we do need your help. Smash that subscribe, like, and notify button as if you were sending this out to people in need. If more people don't see it, it's because that we can't do it without you. But maybe together, we can make a difference. Thank you, and may God bless you and yours and keep you safe.